turned music mogul Yo Gotti have quietly gone their separate ways, Brad. They say Angela felt like, honey, she was putting in more effort than she was getting back, honey. Now, they're saying Yo Gotti's schedule was nonstop, studios, business, appearances, and she started out feeling like she wasn't a priority. And when a woman don't feel like she's a priority, she needs to leave.
A little, okay, that they have quietly separated. This ain't their first separation, though, okay? Every time they get, into they fight and,
And not just following Angela Simmons. Boy, I got a crush on Angela Simmons.
He rapped about her before they ever met. She was the one he couldn't stop talking about, the one he name-dropped in a track that turned into an anthem of public thirst. And years later, she actually said yes. But what started as a hip-hop fairy tale, the type of story that seemed destined for a happy ending, ended with something more eerie: silence. No big fallout, no messy public breakup, just gone. Fans watched as Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti, once inseparable on red carpets and in Instagram posts, faded into digital dust. And while the couple never confirmed the end, the signs were all there. So what really happened between Angela and the man who manifested her for nearly a decade? What went down behind the curated images, the love songs, and the designer dates? Because if you look closely, this wasn't just a breakup. It was a slow unraveling filled with heartbreak, money trouble, betrayal, and something far darker than anyone expected. This is how a dream romance got iced in silence. Long before they were ever seen together, Yo Gotti made his intentions very public. In 2015, he dropped Down in the DM, a song that would do more than climb charts. It became his personal love letter to Angela Simmons. While most rappers brag about random hookups, Gotti was different. He called her out by name. No code, no subtlety, just raw admiration. At the time, Angela wasn't single. She was engaged to businessman Sutton Tennyson, a quiet but serious relationship that didn't seem to leave room for a rap star's fantasy. But Gotti didn't stop. 2 years later, he followed up with Save It For Me, making it clear he still had Angela on his mind, even as she became a mother and built a more private life. Fans started to root for him, turning his obsession into a running joke online. But the truth was, this wasn't just entertainment for Gotti. He waited. He watched. And when tragedy eventually opened a door, he was still there. Before Angela and Gotti ever shared a red carpet, her world was shaken by something no one saw coming. In 2018, her ex-fiancé Sutton Tennyson was gunned down outside his home in Atlanta. The father of her child, gone in an instant. The loss hit Angela hard. She'd already been navigating life as a new mom, but now she was doing it while grieving someone she once planned a future with. Publicly, she kept it classy. Privately, friends said she was devastated. She focused on raising her son and leaned into her businesses. Dating was the last thing on her mind. Meanwhile, Gotti stayed quiet, but never too far. His earlier lyrics took on a strange new tone, like he'd seen something coming or was quietly waiting for the right time. And eventually, the internet noticed a shift. Little moments, social media clues, comments, and then finally, confirmation. Angela was giving him a shot, but what seemed like a long-awaited romance was actually built on years of unresolved emotion, and it didn't take long for the cracks to show. By early 2023, what had once been whispers became reality. Angela Simmons made it Instagram official. A single photo, hand in hand with Yo Gotti, was all it took to set the internet on fire. For years, people joked about his persistence. Now he was living the dream. They weren't hiding anymore. The couple appeared at events together, posed for paparazzi, and flooded timelines with matching outfits, slow-motion walks, and soft smiles that screamed power couple. It looked like a fairy tale. Hip-hop mogul finally wins over the woman of his dreams. And the narrative? Perfect. He waited for her. She gave him a chance. They found each other after years of separate pain. Fans loved it. Headlines ate it up, but behind the filters and soft lighting, something felt off. They smiled for the camera, sure, but insiders started whispering that the vibe behind the scenes was different. And soon, the first cracks started to show. Not in the relationship, but in Angela's picture-perfect image. Not long after the love story hit the spotlight, the headlines took a sharp turn. Court records revealed Angela was allegedly behind on rent by over $48,000. A legal battle with her landlord quickly followed, throwing her finances into question. For someone who flaunted designer fits and exotic vacations online, the lawsuit painted a very different picture. Then came another twist. Rumors swirled that the luxury vehicle she gifted to Gotti, the one fans drooled over on Instagram, wasn't fully paid for. Allegedly, it was being financed in installments. That detail hit hard. It made people question not just her financial stability, but the entire foundation of the relationship. Was the car a gift or a performance? Was the lifestyle real or a curated illusion? And most importantly, how did Gotti feel about all of it? According to sources close to the situation, he didn't love the idea of being seen as a financial crutch. The dynamics started to shift. What was once a dream pairing slowly began to look like a lopsided arrangement, and not the kind built to last. As the pressure mounted, things got messier. Rumors exploded when Yo Gotti was allegedly spotted cozying up with a woman known online as Nurse, a name that might sound random, but not to fans who knew the backstory. This wasn't just some new girl. Nurse had a history of tension with Angela, making the connection feel less like a coincidence and more like a calculated move. The two were reportedly seen at the Aria Hotel in Las Vegas, and gossip blogs had a field day. Photos circulated, allegations flew, and for many fans, it felt like deja vu. Gotti was going back to the same moves he once used to chase Angela, but this time on someone else. Angela, usually active on social media, started to go quiet. No more couple posts, no more matching outfits, and no public clapbacks, just silence. It was the kind of silence that doesn't scream heartbreak, but suggests something might be broken. And as things unraveled in the public eye, the drama behind the scenes took a far darker turn. And then, just as the relationship was unraveling in the public eye, the drama took a darker turn. In early 2024, Yo Gotti's older brother, Anthony Big Jook Mims, was shot and killed outside a Memphis restaurant. It wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a public one. Big Jook was a key figure in Gotti's CMG label and deeply tied to Memphis street politics. Almost instantly, rumors began swirling. Some claimed his death was connected to the ongoing tension surrounding the 2021 murder of rapper Young Dolph, a rivalry that had long haunted the Memphis rap scene. Speculation hinted at retaliation, unfinished business, and a cycle of violence that never really stopped. And for Angela, the situation got even more complicated. People started questioning her safety, her judgment, even her place in this world of labels, lyrics, and lives lost too soon. She was Rev Run's daughter, raised in privilege, far from the street wars and blood feuds now circling around Gotti. Fans who once celebrated the relationship began asking if she had stepped into something far more dangerous than she realized. And once again, Angela's silence only deepened the concern. While Angela was retreating from the spotlight, another woman was stepping into it, and fast. GloRilla, the Memphis rapper signed to Yo Gotti's CMG label in 2022, wasn't just a rising star, she was the star. And Gotti? He was all in. After her breakout success, he gifted her a staggering welcome package: $500,000 in cash, an iced-out chain, a luxury Maybach SUV, and a lineup of Chanel bags.
Oh, hey, how y'all doing? Come on up here, man. Y'all whole squad, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God! Let's go! Let's go! It's working on the red light. It's a red light. Working on the red light. It's a red light. Working on the red light. Yes, ma'am.
Fans were shocked, not just by the generosity, but by the energy. It was fast, flashy, and intense. And compared to the years it took Gotti to win over Angela, this new dynamic felt effortless. The chemistry between Gotti and GloRilla was undeniable. They joked on camera, posed like a duo, and had a vibe that screamed partnership, business or otherwise. Whispers grew louder. Was this just label loyalty or something more? The gifts, the presents, the timing, it all raised eyebrows. Meanwhile, Angela stayed quiet. No more couple moments, no more curated love, just a growing distance that fans could feel, even without a single word being said. No dramatic announcement, no subtweets, no joint statement begging for privacy, just a steady, unmistakable silence. Angela's Instagram, once filled with snapshots of her and Gotti looking like hip-hop royalty, went dark on anything involving him. Posts disappeared, mentions stopped. And while the fans waited for confirmation, they got something even louder: absence.
A little, okay, that they have quietly separated. This ain't their first separation though, okay? Every time they get, into they fight and, we get word. And so apparently this is real this time and they haven't announced. And I'm just trying to figure out why they ain't announced. They done announced everything else.
Unlike the way they started, public, proud, and polished, their ending came with no explanation. But in the world of celebrity, silence usually means one thing: it's over. People close to the couple hinted that the romance had fizzled months before anyone noticed. Between financial stress, public scrutiny, and Gotti's growing focus on GloRilla and CMG, it seemed Angela had quietly bowed out. Whether she walked away or was pushed out, no one really knows. But what's clear is that the fairy tale has faded. Not with fireworks, but with the kind of quiet that speaks volumes. Today, Angela Simmons is moving forward, on her own terms. She's focused on her business ventures, her son, and rebuilding her brand without the weight of a high-profile relationship hanging over her. The glitz may have dimmed, but she's still standing, and more intentional than ever about how she shows up in public. As for Gotti, his energy hasn't slowed. He's still front and center at CMG, heavily tied to GloRilla's rise, and very much in control of his narrative. Whether his connection with Angela was real love or just the pursuit of an idea he built up in his head, only he knows. But what's left behind is a story of persistence, glamour, and slow unraveling, a romance born in lyrics and ended in silence. Because in the world of fame, not every love story needs a dramatic finale. Sometimes the most revealing part is what's not said. And in this case, the silence may have said it all. If you made it this far, you already know this story was deeper than it looked. But what do you think really happened between Angela and Gotti? Was it love, convenience, or just timing gone wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more untold stories from the world of hip-hop and fame, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next.